Welcome to Channel 23 Eyewitness News. Come join us this morning with our sassy newscast openers, I, myself, Carolina Del Real, and our lovely co-anchor, Miss Eugenie Barbeau. So, Miss Barbeau, how are you this fine and dandy morning?
Oh, just fine, darling. Just enjoying this nice sunny day in our hard times of war. Speaking of the war, why don't you tell us today's special segment on African Americans on the American home front?
Why, yes, I will. African Americans served bravely and with distinction in every theater of World War II, while simultaneously struggling for their own civil rights from the world's greatest democracy. Although the United States Armed Forces were officially segregated until 1948, World War II laid the foundation for post-war integration of the military. In 1941, fewer than 4,000 Americans were serving in the military, and only 12 African Americans made it to become officers. By 1945, more than 1.2 million African Americans, including thousands of African American women in the Women's Auxiliaries, were on the home front in Europe and the Pacific. And this is only on the war front. Back on America's home front, blacks were being severely discriminated against. African Americans were given the most menial jobs, and if not given to them, they were given to their white counterparts. They were being called upon to defend their country, yet at home they were being treated despicably. Must have been particularly challenging for them. Oh, those poor people. Now on to Eugenie.
Despite their high enlistment rate in the U.S. Army, African Americans were still not treated equally. When the United States entered World War II in December 1941, the Navy's African American sailors had been limited to serving as mess attendants for nearly 2 decades. However, the pressures of wartime on manpower resources, the good examples of heroes like Doris Muller, the willingness of thousands of patriotic men to participate in the war effort, plus well-focused political activities, gradually forced changes. According to a report commissioned by the Army War College, African Americans were careless, shiftless, irresponsible, and secretive, unmoral, and untruthful. Furthermore, the military believed black soldiers were unsuited to serve as officers. Stereotyping and discrimination meant that most African American soldiers were never placed in active combat roles. They were assigned mostly to labor-intense service positions with little responsibility. They were often issued less equipment and fewer supplies than their white counterparts. Now we move on to our on-scene reporter, Cynthia Diaz, to verify these accounts against the African Americans.
Hello, good morning, Carolina and Eugenie. I am here with Blanca, who is the wife of a man, a soldier in World War II. Hello, Blanca. How's your day going so far?
It's been bad. I mean, the position I'm in, do you not see this? I need to take care of my house. My husband's not home. I can't keep up with the taxes. It's been hard.
I'm so sorry, Blanca. Do you have kids currently?
Yes, I have 2 little boys.
How did your husband being at war affect your family mentally and emotionally?
My kids, they've been acting out. They've been slacking off at school. They don't want to talk to their friends anymore. They've become rebellious. It's sad seeing them like this.
I'm so sorry
for me, it's hard not having the man at home. I'm just taking care of the house by myself, the kids. I'm out looking for a job in the night just to support my family. I miss my husband.
Have you connected with your husband in any way?
Yes, actually, I received a letter from him just the other day saying how he missed me and kids, and how it's a traumatizing experience for him to seeing the people that he's known die.
I'm sure it is really hard. Did you see yourself being in the situation that you are currently in right now?
No, actually, I always imagined that we'd be this perfect family, that my husband would teach my kids how to read, and that I'd just wake up next to him.
very much. And thank you for sharing your heartbreaking story, Blanca. So here I am, Carolina.
Thank you, Cynthia, for that heart-touching story of that poor African-American woman. Now for a short
Good
break.
evening, audience. Welcome back to Channel 23. Here I am with Kimberly, who is one of the nurses who volunteered in World War II. Hello, Kimberly. How was it like being at the draft like many other women?
Well, it was actually a very difficult thing to go through. I was at first worried about leaving my siblings home alone at this time of war because my mom was the one working because my father's divorced, so she was pretty much being the man of the house. But I knew the right thing to do during this crisis was to go and volunteer in a draft because I thought it was a very patriotic thing to do, and it's just a really good feel and help our country out at home.
Yes, especially when women are working. Your mom was working. How was your experience like?
Well, it was actually very difficult at first because when I volunteered, I thought we get to choose what we're going to work on. So I thought, well, I was going to be working in a factory, you know. Probably thought it was not hard to learn. But it turns out I became a nurse and got sent to the war. So I had to learn everything, how to use all the medical equipment. And I was actually scared because I had no experience in the medical field. But I eventually learned. But now, currently, what I've been fearing is I'm actually working and taking care of the troops. We get bombed because we're even being bombed recently a lot, and gunshots and attacks. So I'm afraid what will happen to or even injured troops, and especially my life and my other colleagues.
How terrifying. So, what's your opinion about African Americans being at war?
They're doing an amazing job. I believe that's a very patriotic thing of them to do, go to war, even though they're not having as rights as us. I believe they're doing a very good job. And I believe that when we come back, we deserve the same amount of honor and respect as the white dragon. We should definitely be afforded. And I still can't believe during wars we're still being segregated. That's not right. We should be working together, both whites and African Americans, because we're all American citizens.
Yes, we are all American citizens, and yeah, they should have some respect for them. And, thank you for sharing with us.